Hello and welcome to the Wednesday, April 16th, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich and today I'm recording from Orlando, Florida. Xavier today wrote a diary about, a little bit an old problem, and that's the abuse of free file transfer services. As Xavier puts it, why create your own complex command control channel if all you need is a simple HTTPS post to a well-known free file hosting service that may even be considered legitimate and as such raise less suspicion than some kind of interesting custom domain. The latest one that Xavier ran into here is gofile.io. Now, Xavier also points out there is an older one that he still keeps seeing, and that's Anon file. In a particular piece of software that Xavier actually found here, gofile is used by default, but if gofile fails, it actually then falls back to Anon file. Now, the interesting part is that Anon file has been defunct now for a couple of years. As such, falling back to it doesn't really make much sense, but this may just be sort of a modification to an existing script. Xavier also lists a few common other domains that are being used for this data exfiltration, so definitely something you do want to pay attention to. In particular, these defunct services, given that attackers still attempt to use them, putting in some kind of DNS rules or so, trying to figure out is someone attempting to connect to them, certainly makes some sense for malware detection in your network. And then we have a new version of the SSH daemon. OpenSSH released version 10.0. Now, this is a functional version update, so while it does provide some security improvements, it doesn't necessarily fix vulnerabilities. There are two major sort of changes from a security point of view. First of all, the addition of quantum safe ciphers, and secondly, there is now a new SSHD auth daemon that takes care of user authentication. The idea behind this is that the pre-authentication attack surface is sort of disassociated from the rest of the SSH daemon, and with that, any problem in this particular code would have less impact of the rest of the SSH daemon. So this is something that you may want to play with, but for the most part, just wait for it to show up in your preferred Linux distribution or whatever other operating system you're using for SSH. No critical need to update to this version right now. And the next vulnerability is, a little bit odd in the sense that I don't understand the high CVSS score, and that's really why I want to cover it, because that may be assigned wrongly, or maybe I just don't understand the vulnerability and the software correctly. It's in Apache Roller. That's a Java-based group block software. The problem here is that the vulnerability that's being patched here is that if a user changes their password, their existing sessions are not invalidated. Now, this is not a good thing because a user may change their password because they suspect their account being compromised, and with these persistent sessions, an attacker retains access even after the user changed their password. However, assigning it a CVSS score of 10, which is usually the top CVSS score and used for things like unauthenticated vulnerabilities and remote code execution vulnerabilities. I think something went wrong here with the CVSS score. But anyway, if you're using Apache Roller, be aware of the vulnerability. It may be flagged as a big deal. You probably should patch because it is a real vulnerability. Just how urgent you make that, I'll leave that up to you. And if anybody has any feedback on Apache Roller, how this particular CVSS score would be justified, let me know. And then I have another story that really is nothing that I usually cover because it goes a little bit into politics. Today, a letter from MITRE to the CVE board leaked that apparently as of tomorrow, MITRE's contract to operate the CVE system may get discontinued, may no longer be funded. What this really means, we don't know yet. It probably does not mean that CVE numbers all of a sudden are going to go away. There are possibilities of other funding sources, like from industry and such. The CVE system itself is operated by MITRE for many years now, I believe, since its inception. However, it's backed by a board of, large companies and other industry organizations, some of them global, in order to support the mission of CVE numbers and assigning vulnerability IDs. So we'll see what happens. There may be at least some temporary disruption in assigning CVE numbers. Well, and this is it for today. So thanks for listening. Thanks for recommending. Thanks for subscribing to this podcast. And talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.